Once again, I'm to you with the trench report. All right. And
Let's
here are
do
the
it.
grades from this last game. Now, I did a cumulative grade as well, but this is the singular grade from preseason week 3 versus the Carolina Panthers. Once again, our bookends did a fantastic job. Broderick and Troy, a lot of questions going into them. We mentioned coming into the camp, and they ended it on a great note. 3 good preseason games. I don't think Troy gave up a pressure, and I think Broderick made it only giving up 1 or 2, 0 sacks between the two of them. Zach had a holding call on the very first play of the game, or else he would have had 100%. It was a very weak holding call, I would say, but I think these refs are in the preseason too, Charlie, so they got to throw the flags when they can. Spencer and Mason both played. I thought Mason played outstanding. He has been extremely solid. I know he was a guy that you mentioned coming into this year you had your eye on as far as what kind of improvements he would make in the second year, being a 6th-round guy that got kind of shoved in there last year when Daniels went down. I thought he's rebounded amazingly, and they're really getting their money's worth with this 6th-round draft pick and Mason McCormick. But when we look at the depth, this is where the questions lie. I think our 5 are solid right there. Don't know what's going to happen with Spencer. He's obviously going to be the rotational guard when Isaac comes back, and so he'll be your 6th man interior-wise, but I don't know. When we look at Max Sharping and Andres Speed, 2 guys who had really good camps as well. Andres just coming here 2 weeks ago, I believe. And the last 2 games, he put some stuff on film that has to get the coaches excited. And obviously, with his resume being the all-pro guard for the Saints and playing some tackle, that's valuable in that locker room on an offensive line that lacks a lot of veteran presence. Max Sharping has some starting time in the league. One of the guys that I wanted to bring up was Ryan McCullum. He had 100%, played the entire game after Zach went out. Hadn't played the entire preseason up to this point, but really balled out in this game. He needed to because Max Sharping had been playing center and had done a good job. So it's going to be interesting how these numbers work out after cut day today. If they're going to keep 10, Stephen Jones, I thought is probably the most athletic of this group, but probably the least consistent of the group. Dylan Cook is the only guy that played both tackles, so it looks like he has an inside track to be our swing tackle. So we got some decisions to make in the offensive line room, but by and large, this group as a whole did well and improved each week.
And I think the biggest part that Mike Tomlin is going to have to focus on either what's the more important, tackle to guard flexibility or guard to center flexibility. So I think that ultimately is going to shape up how people make this roster.
And you wonder last year, Zach got hurt and Ryan had to come in and filled in tremendously. But you wonder if that's going to play into his decision-making as well. Will he keep 3 guys that have center experience in Ryan McCullum and Max Sharping? That could mess with your numbers a little bit as well. And like you mentioned, what's going to be more important, that guard to tackle flexibility or that tackle to tackle flexibility? So a lot of stuff to be hashed out between now and 4 o'clock tomorrow, but they got some good decisions to make because those guys really play well this preseason.